Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Todd Bryson. I'm an Akashic Records practitioner, if you didn't know. I come into this video with the intention of providing information about the times and the potentials that are at your disposal. And before I get into that, I want to let you know that I do have my Christmas promos running right now. If you've been looking for a reading with me, first time, if it's your 10th time, if you have friend or family who might benefit from an Akashic Records reading with me, I do readings for all levels of awareness. You can find information about that in the description if you're interested. So I will get into the message right now. And in my last video, I talked about how to make contact in your front room, how to observe the little signs, the little cues that might let you know that your extraterrestrial and celestial brothers and sisters are close to you. I also mentioned that a big part of my awakening and a big part of this for me has been, the opportunity that I'm very grateful for to observe a lot of activity in the sky. So the potentials to do that right now are very high and very available. And I do want to let you know that there is a wrong and a right way to do it. There is an aligned way to do it. There is an unaligned way to do it. So I'm going to talk about some very important things now. So let's say you're looking for a paranormal experience. You've seen all the UFO videos. You've heard all the theories, where they come from, what are they doing here, what is my role within all of this even. And you've made the decision, I want to look for them in the sky. I want to set the stage so that I can have this experience, so that there's some kind of proof in my awareness, so that there's something that I can grab onto that's tangible that will allow me to move forward with a new understanding of, what this place is, who's participating, and what it means for everybody in the long run. So what you want to do is you want to go out into an empty space. You can do it in your backyard. You can travel into places where there's no light pollution. The later at night, the better. This is because if there's a lot of eyes on the sky, you're less likely to see anything. If there are those who are observing the sky who aren't meant to see, it's less likely that you will have any kind of an experience. So you want to go outside, and the first thing that you should know is that they're not obligated to show themselves to you, and they will be very patient if the compatibility to do so is not there. So don't go out, prove yourself to me, show yourself to me now, make yourself known, or leave me alone. That kind of stuff is going to get you nowhere. And vibrationally, what's coming from that is way below the compatibility level to begin with. So we go out, and what we want to do is we want to make sure that we have a clear view of the sky, and we're basically stargazing with an intentional purpose to observe those who might inhabit the stars or have at some point within their linear state. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit out, and I'm going to stargaze, and I'm going to avoid all of the distractions that I can, and I'm basically going to cultivate as much love and gratitude as I can. I'm not thinking about ETs, I'm not thinking about visitations. I'm thinking about how much do I love, how much can I bring to the surface, and how long can I hold it. So there's an interesting thing that happens. The extraterrestrials, the ones that you're looking to interact with, the ones that are in a fifth dimensional resonance, can arrive more comfortably and can actually observe a signal in the form of the frequency of love and you broadcasting it. So you sit down, you cultivate as much love as you can, and then you want to enter into contemplation. You want to observe the stars, who's out there, how long has this construct existed, how many places in the night sky that I'm observing right now have I lived on, have I been incarnated on, and have I had a similar physical experience to what I'm having now on. So if we cultivate love, if we enter into a state of healthy spiritual contemplation, we are broadcasting from our field of energy an invitation frequency. So this invitation frequency will be answered or it will not be answered. And whenever we're doing this kind of stuff, we want to practice patience and perseverance. And those are those are things that the universe is going to reward ultimately. Are you patient? Are you persistent? Do you go out time after time with curiosity in your heart? So you are outside, you're thinking about all of your gratitude and the things that you love, you're contemplating the nature of things, and you've been doing this for, let's say, 10 or 15 minutes. Usually that's how long it takes before I start getting little sensations, little blinks in the sky, light ships appearing. So I will let you know that I've never a single time in observing thousands of crafts in the sky mistaken or misidentified something with blinking lights, something that looked human and earthly. I've never assigned them as being cosmic family and brothers and sister. It's not really going to do you any good if you observe something that's earthly, something that's human-made, man-made, and assign it as this is a fifth dimensional experience. This is a paranormal experience that I've just had, and I'm going to continue to have them because look how easy it is. If you have any doubt, dismiss what you've observed, because I'll tell you, if you have a true and authentic experience, they're going to authenticate that very clearly for you by doing something that breaks the laws in this place. And I mean the laws of physics that we know and that we pretend that we're bound to. When I observe crafts in the sky, I'm looking for light ships. I'm looking for luminous ships. I'm looking for ships that have no business being anywhere near the realm of being created in the third dimension. When you set the stage properly and you've created the right frequencies that will invite what it is that you're trying to invoke, something that you might experience is signs that they're responding to the invitation. You might start feeling spontaneous joy and love. You might start getting curiosity. You might start getting chills of joy and harmonization within the hemispheres of the brain. Just like you do when you're in the front room looking for some kind of a contact experience. But most importantly, have fun with it. We try to do this kind of thing sometimes as a means of, come and save us. Come and get us from this place that is so hard to be in. You're not going to have any success if you're taking that approach either. So we want to shift gears a little bit now, and a lot of you who have been on this path for quite some time are understanding that you're healers both in a traditional and a non-traditional sense. And we need you to remember that your creator has brought you here because you're a healer. Your creator has brought you into this place with a lot of sickness and with a lot of imbalance because you have the resume that proves that you can endure and that you will perform in the proper way in this place. So when you, in your spiritual awakening, are told to maintain your awareness in the now, what does that really mean? So I'll tell you what it means for a healer. I'll tell you what it means for a practitioner who's meant to understand the field of quantum and is supposed to, be taking action on behalf of the ones who they share this experience with. Healers, it is time for you to be aware that the things that are coming and going from your awareness and your field of consciousness are not spontaneous and are not random. And what I mean by that is your guides, other people's guides, know that you have the capacity to heal. They know you have the capacity to transform. And they know that you, as an old soul, have tailored yourself over space and time to be able to do this. So when Spirit has a job or an assignment in healing for you, it can be someone who's related and who's close to you. It can be somebody who you crossed paths with at the gas station 20 years ago. It can be an old friend from school. It can be a world leader unassociated with our linear space and time who passed away 500 years ago. There's a wide spectrum. That's why the approach that you take and your ability to identify the assignments are what are going to make the difference. So let's say you have spontaneously your third grade teacher come into your awareness. Really random, really spontaneous. Is this really a job in healing? And we'll tell you yes. So this is where staying in the now comes into play. When this person arrives in your consciousness, usually our tendency is to reflect on memory of them. our tendency might be to jump into future potentials of them, and that leaves the now noticeably vacant. So we have these healing assignments come forward. We are asked to anchor ourselves in the now. We're asked to acknowledge that this is potentially assignment, and we're asked to ask Spirit, with this awareness, what should I do? Dear Spirit, send them my love and light. Dear Spirit, send them my intention. Dear Spirit, broadcast resources from me that will replenish what it is that they need. When you're getting these soul level healing assignments, you're going to need to disregard the linear components of your system that might invoke you into a state of not being as influential as you should be. Stay in your now, because that's where your power and your presence is. Stay in the now, that's where you can wield your intention. Stay in the now, that's where you broadcast from a place of neutrality resources that your brothers and sisters here might be in need of. Whenever you get one of these assignments too, you do it unconditionally. You're not anticipating receiving anything in return. That's what a healer does. The healer understands that there's a system universally that will provide for them through this act of service. So after you unconditionally fulfill whatever this job in healing was, then you're okay to replenish yourself. Then you're okay to reflect on yourself. Then you're okay to kind of take inventory. What did I spend while doing that work? And do I need to cultivate more of it so that there's more available? Once you, as a healer, acknowledge the easy jobs like this, somebody you know, somebody you're familiar with, somebody that you're thinking about, to the point where you ask why, this is not random or spontaneous anymore, showing up like this, then your healing assignments can expand into the field. Then your healing assignments can move away from the linear ones. And what that means is you're going to start thinking about people, places, and things unrelated to the linear time that you currently occupy. So you might start thinking about historical figures. You might start thinking about places and time. You might start thinking about events, things that have taken place in this reality that are kind of dead weight as we try to move forward into what's next. So the same idea goes. Do we reflect on memory? I went there in 3rd grade. Do we think about future potentials? What will manifest from this place now? Or do we see the assignment? Do we invoke the most loving, compassionate, and understanding neutral response that we can? And do we flood that aspect of creation with our love and light and the resources that our Creator has gifted us with? So important times for the healers, and an important time to take action rather than consider, am I really on this assignment? Am I really contributing what I am? Why me for this? Why not somebody else? Step up to the plate. Understand why your name has been called and take the steps to do the work anyway. Let understanding formulate after, and even if it takes when we're done with this place. Many of you have given me the opportunity in the last few months to recognize patterns happening within Old Soul and Lightworker collectives. So I am observing a lot of individuals who are at a phase of their experience that I was at 5 years ago before I had my big breakthroughs. And I know that a lot of you are on the cusp of having retrained and reprogrammed your ego to collaborate with you quantumly rather than linearly. And I'll tell you what that means. So the signs that I'm observing: people healing their inner child, people making peace with their anger, people returning energy and frequency given to them by others to carry that they didn't necessarily need to, have now unencumbered themselves from the burdens of the 3rd dimension so that they can now work with the ego in a manner that is compatible with unity rather than separation. And the ego itself was designed for separation, and it was designed by you. So the ego will keep you in the 3rd dimension. The ego will keep you in linearity. And you would think that the ego would want to enter into a quantum state so that it can hang its hat on having accomplished that. That's not really what it's designed to do. That's not really what it's programmed to do. So when the ego interrupts you as a healer, you've just been given this assignment. I'm going to go now broadcast my love and light to this person or to this component of creation who needs my resources. And the ego says, who are you to do this? You're not trained enough to do this. There are other healers who do this. They do it formally. They get paid for it. Who are you to do it? As early in this process, if you can capture the ego and tell the ego politely, dear ego, separation has ended. Please remember, dear ego, please accommodate spiritual and quantum fulfillment rather than draw away from it. Dear ego, it is now your job to facilitate integration of unity consciousness rather than separation. The ego hides a lot and is very hard to talk to and to instruct. But when an opportunity presents itself for the ego to chime in, it's going to be very available to hear your response. Do you respond from a place of limitation? And the ego will say, I told you, we're in separation, remember? Or have you empowered yourself with knowledge and worthiness and understanding of who you are within this body and why you're asked to do the work? If you are a healer on the earth, you've come to the earth understanding that your sensitivity would sometimes be a detriment to you. You came to the earth understanding that the sensitivity that you would need to have in this place to be of service and to make a difference would sometimes get the best of you. It is now time to honor the healer. It is now time to let the healer unleash itself because it's been coiled for so long. Too many are still feeling as though they are at the mercy of lesser healed versions of themselves. Too many feel like, sure, I've come a long way, I've covered all this ground in my personal growth, but I'm still attached to timelines associated with old me or less empowered me. What is asked of you now is that you embrace what has arrived and where you have arrived in your now moment unconditionally. And, a sign that you're being reintroduced into the unity field is that you have an understanding of those things and that there's a certain comfort level with what has unfolded and what has taken place and how. And when you start getting a taste of that, you know that the bridge has opened for you and you know that you're empowered to move into that expression of you. Don't let the version of you that you've healed in training yourself to heal others be the sore thumb that it's not meant to be. A lot of you are having your physical body actually confused right now. And it's getting sick when it shouldn't. It's having all these different signs and symptoms. A lot of that is coming because the radiation that's hitting the atmosphere has changed quite a bit. So some of you have a physical self that is acting as if it's fighting something, or it's been triggered because it's confused or something has arrived that it's unfamiliar with, and it's mistaking that it has to use the immune system to figure it out or to fix it. So this is normal ascension symptom. This is something that will recalibrate, and you will have a higher platform to observe third dimension through when enduring little discomforts like this. Just understand where it comes from, understand why it's taking place. As a healer, the things that you attract are going to be very different. You're not going to be attracting based on where your frequency is and where your compatibility is. You're going to be aligning with and attracting people who need what you have to provide. So that, the earlier you get comfortable with that, the more you'll understand that, and the more you'll be able to operate with who you encounter from a place of unconditional love and non-judgment. Okay, and I think this will be the last thing today. So a lot of you have noticed that spirit has been orchestrating very long, elaborate synchronicities. Meaning getting from point A to point B to seeing 11:11 on the clock is like this really grand production. This had to go right. We had to turn left at this point. We had to go through this door at this point. We had to talk to this person. We had to open this program on the computer. Boom, there's 11. They're doing this now to show you just how controlled things are. And this is necessary now. As old paradigms fall away, we have pieces and parts of us that get confused and want to formulate understanding. Sometimes they do that with panic. Sometimes they do that with insecurity. And sometimes they do that from a place of unknowing. These synchronicities are meant to bring you back into coherence with, this is the plan and you're part of it. Don't worry. Anyway, we will stop there today. Like I said, if you guys have interest in my Akashic Records readings, we're looking for interesting soul stories in history. We're looking for what's in your field of potential. We're looking for how do we kind of unhitch the wagon of what you don't need to carry with you, and grateful for the opportunity to do that with you. Thank you very much. Goodbye.